A reading from the Gospel according to Luke. Who among you would say to your slave who had just come in from plowing or tending sheep in the field, "Come here at once, take your place at the table"? Would you not rather say to him, "Prepare supper for me, and put on your apron and serve me while I eat and drink? Later you may eat and drink." Do you thank the slave for doing what was commanded? So you also, when you have done all that you were ordered to do, say, "We are worthless slaves. We have only done what we ought to have done." The word of the Lord. I will start by acknowledging, of course, the deeply triggering language rooted in slavery that I want to pause to acknowledge that, of course, while it was normalized in its time, it is not normalized in our time. And Jesus was using the imagery of slave and master in a context that they would have understood. But Jesus also is just acting rather strangely in this passage, isn't he? He has been for some time here now, for a couple of days in the Gospel of Luke, when his disciples have been asked to do some really big things. They've been asked to go out and to serve and to heal and to lead and give up all of their possessions and be willing to take on dissension and disagreement within their own households. Jesus has had a heavy ask for them. And then at first, it seems like yesterday, all they come to Jesus to say is, "Give us more faith." Seems like a reasonable request. Maybe you, I know I, at times have certainly asked for more faith. And then he rebukes them saying, "You just need faith the size of a mustard seed." And talks about a mulberry bush being uprooted and thrown and planted into the sea. And now this story about how they're acting like greedy slaves who are coming to their master asking for more. So I want to try to reframe it. I think that's important for us in this context. I heard Walter Brueggemann, if you're familiar with Walter Brueggemann, once say that the point of the gospel was to instill us with faith, not certitude. That Jesus didn't come into our world to guarantee that we would have easy lives and that everything would always go well and that everything would always work out. But he came to give us faith so that we would go and wrestle, not doubt-free, but wrestle in the midst of our doubts, that we are called to love and be loved in a world where sometimes things won't work out, and sometimes there will be pain, and sometimes we will fall short, but to overall trust that God is there walking the way with us. The late theologian Rachel Held Evans spoke to this in a passage that I read one time. She viewed this passage as wanting the disciples to understand, you have everything you need. You're being asked to do big things. You're being asked to do hard things. But Jesus has given you everything you need. Trust in Jesus and trust in yourself to go out and do the work that you've been given to do. You don't need certainty. You don't need a guarantee. If you wait until you feel like you've been given everything you need to guarantee success, you'll never try. You'll never get started. If you wait until you're assured of success, it will hold you back. Instead, have faith. Trust in Jesus. Even the faith the size of a mustard seed is enough to go out into the world and make a difference. And so, it does sound a little bit like a rebuke when they come to Jesus and they say, "We want more. We want more." And he is rebuking them. But not because he doesn't believe in them, not because Jesus doesn't trust them, but actually because Jesus does trust them. to say you are ready. Even in the midst of your shortcomings, even in the midst of your doubts, you have everything you need to go out and be the disciples I have called you to be in this world. So don't come to me asking for more, he says. Be grateful for what you have because it is enough. As we go out into our own lives, may we trust, may we realize that we have been given everything we need to go out and be the disciples that Jesus has called us to be.